quite a lot of people here with us, so thank you all for joining us. Another event from BridgerLearn. This time we speak about startup in Cyprus and how and building a company in Cyprus. And we are happy to share from our experience from building here a company that started with two people in an apartment and grew. And yes, we have Christos with us. You want to present yourself?
Yes, my name is Christos. I'm the business and legal advisor at Royal Pine. Royal Pine, it's a boutique advisory firm with offices in Cyprus and Greece, although we're aspiring to be considered as a firm that provides global solutions to its clients. We have a strong global network of associates, ranging from helping clients to create and open companies across the world, helping them with banking solutions. We have 25 professionals, ranging from lawyers, tax experts, accountants, people with strong financial background. Our solutions vary from helping entrepreneurs how to correctly structure their idea into how to formulate their idea into a business, to managing the estate and wealth of high net worth individuals. We are quite strong in setting up funds and administering funds.
Funds are important.
Yes, funds are also important for Cyprus, other than
for the tech environment.
Yes, definitely. We also share similar story with BridgerPay. Royal Pine 6 years ago was just 6 people, and now we're 25. We aspire to be 80 people by the end of 2030. We want to grow. We open offices in other jurisdictions, and we look forward to get aligned with this vision of Cyprus to grow and bring more and more tech companies to the island.
Yeah, more companies in the island, I'm sure, will bring more work. But yeah, this is it's a similar story, to grow a company. Okay, let's see if we have questions here before we start. Shai is asking us, what's going on with Cyprus and COVID restriction? I heard that masks are now tech. They are back. I just landed yesterday, and it was okay. In the airport, I didn't have to.
I think they're back in indoors places, especially in in hospitals and care homes, maybe at the airport as well, or some maybe during the flight. You're obliged to wear a mask. I think Cyprus usually follows the European rules. So if anything happens in Europe, will be adopted in Cyprus as well.
Anyway, throughout COVID, we basically continue to work, mostly from the office. There was only one point of time when we diluted a bit. But yeah, it was very easy to continue working and growing even in COVID times in Cyprus. I think most than other places that with big lockdowns and longer ones, ours was very sustainable.
Yeah, it's true that during the COVID period, that period before the vaccines, where governments didn't know how to adapt to the new realities. I've met a lot of digital nomads moving to Cyprus because they didn't want to. They couldn't cope through these strict lockdowns either in London or in Berlin. So, because they were working in this tech companies that took their laptop, moved to Cyprus, and at the end of the day, they even stayed. So, and I think this is what Cyprus can really offer, and the best way to educate people about what we said before, that Cyprus essentially is a nice place to live. I think everybody should explore and try live to the island for a couple of weeks or months to see how life is here, because it's easy to say, but maybe difficult for someone who never lived here to understand.
Okay, so good to hear you're surprised about this. Yeah, it's coming and going, but we got used to it. I think all of us. I was just came back from Paris. On the way there, you needed to put a mask on the flight. On the way here, you didn't have to.
You didn't have to.
It's so confusing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on and get started. So Royal Pine.
Yeah, I think we touched before about Royal Pine. As I said, we help entrepreneurs set up their business. We connect investors with interesting investment opportunities. We have some good and strong connections with VC funds and private equity funds, either through our experience of helping them setting up in Cyprus.
The company is built from lawyers, accountant. The company is built from lawyers and accountant people, and like who are the people in Royal Pine?
In Royal Pine, yeah, as I said before, we have lawyers and accountants who have the skill and knowledge to set up a fund, which can be regulated either from the Cyprus Authority or even from other jurisdictions like Cayman Islands, for example, that can be set up even from us. And we have the capability to administer those funds through very state-of-the-art software. And we have our corporate people who can handle the whole process of setting up the funds and keep it running. And those funds are actively looking for opportunities. The startup ecosystem in Cyprus is now growing. It's true that we're not like Israel, that is a growth nation, and you have so many developed companies. But the Cyprus as a tech hub, or let's say as a business hub, can give the opportunity to those companies from Israel to access European funds, or from other countries, like CIS countries, or even from the West, from the US, that want to invest.
If I'm a startup, an Israeli startup today, which is probably on pre-seed, looking for funds and looking for a place to establish its operation out of Israel, what services will you provide him? For example, so it's just opening the company here in Cyprus or a bank account, or it's also introductions to fund managers, and how extensive is it?
Our company, we want to position ourselves as a one-stop shop because we have all the expertise to help the company in every element of corporate, financial, legal need that it may have. We can help an Israeli company, as you have suggested, to relocate to the island, to open up the company, to open up the bank account, to help with the migration procedure of the shareholders, of the key employees that are coming. We can help them with introductions to investors. We can assist them finding, real estate for the people who are moving, office space, all the internal accounting and financial support that they may need, ranging from HR support, payroll, internal accounting. So our solution is holistic.
All of the headaches.
Yeah, we want to take all the headaches that this VCO is facing.
Bring the product, focus on the product.
Exactly, focus on the product, and you're in
the beginning. It's a must.
Yeah,
unless there's a lot of headache.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
We want the business people to focus what they're good at, to focus on the business plan, grow the company. We want to give them this peace of mind that we are there for them to undertake all these small challenges that can become real headaches if you have to urgently tackle them. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
So, okay, we have a few questions here. So, and guys, please, we are happy to stop if you have any question and answer them. So it will be on topic. If it's off topic, and we will probably leave it to the end of the event. So how can Royal Pine help startup with opening an EU entity or any other entities? So first of all, which entities can you help them open?
At the moment, we are present, as I said, in Cyprus and Greece. So we can help directly with the incorporation of a Cypriot or a Greek entity. We have a strong partnership in other jurisdictions, such as Mauritius, Singapore, UAE, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Cayman Islands, BVI, Malta. But as I said before, our network is global in nature, and we have associates through our dealings of all these years that we have created, a trusted relationship, and we know that where we cannot help immediately the client, we can connect them with the people that can help them, because at the end of the day, we want to add value to the client. As far as EU entities are concerned, again, we are comfortable to say to a client that we can help them to open up an entity almost anywhere in the EU.
Before we go to Uri's question, is there a restriction for an Israeli startup company to come into Cyprus and open?
Actually, from January 2022, it's even more. It's even easier to open up a company. The government has created a business facilitation unit. So, where you had to deal with 5-6 authorities, now you have to deal with a dedicated team in the Ministry of Commerce.
And what is under that?
So the setting up the company, the social insurance, enrolling the people to the social insurance, with the residence permit, the employment permit, tax, VAT, of course. And actually, I was in touch with them last week. I wanted to get an update on the numbers. Can you guess how many companies have moved to Cyprus in the last 7 months, 6.5?
Wow.
Can you give a guess? Can you give a guess?
100?
More.
Really? Wow. How many?
760.
760 companies.
760 companies.
Do you know the spread of locations?
Wow. Predominantly they're from Russia and Ukraine. Of course, the war has pushed a lot of but they're coming from Lebanon, and they're coming also from Israel.
Wow.
10% is 100% owned with Israeli investors, so 75 out of 760. Can you imagine 75 Israeli companies moved here?
Wow.
And even more if you consider the minority shareholdings of some Israelis. So it's indeed a window of opportunity, because from January 2022, companies can move here with 100% of their employees. They don't have to hire local or European staff, which was the case before. There are some, of course, minimum requirements like salary and at least some years of residence and continuous employment, to safeguard that you're not just going to open up a company and then go out.
For sure. And
we're really, the whole business community of Cyprus is pushing for that. And, it's creating an ecosystem that's, if you bring the companies, then the funds will come, because they're going to be like, okay, there's targets. So we need to move there. Of course, it's going to take time. In my opinion, the biggest challenge is to push young Cypriots while they're not schools to go and study these new sciences that are much more relevant. For example, data science, computer engineering, computer science, because I'm sure you're facing lack of talent everywhere, not just Cyprus, right? It's very demanding now. So I think I'm very optimistic about that. And as I said, Cyprus is a nice place to live. So if you have a good job and a nice place to live, then I think it's a good match.
Okay, so Uri is asking us, we have a data platform for enterprises. We need a local partner in Cyprus. How can I find data system integrator in Cyprus? Data system integrator. I need to know more about that, Uri, but if you want, you can refer that question to me after the event and I'll try to help you. We have a fine that is asking us, are there any employment restriction, visa for foreigners? What is the company tax rate? So we're speaking about why Cyprus, and I think it's a good question that is related to that. I remember when we opened Bridger, it was 15 people that you could relocate, right?
It used to go with percentages. So it was 30% non-Europeans and 70%. So if you had 100 people, 70 have to be Cypriots and 30 non-Europeans.
But how many visas could I apply to, or how many people could I relocate as a company? Now it changed.
Now it's fully liberated. Now you can
relocate as many as you want.
Yeah, if you are anywhere non-European, I mean, if you're a European company, because of the European Union, you can move with no restrictions. If you're a non-European, you can still bring 100% of your people from day one. The only limitation is on the 5th year of relocation, you should have 30% of Cyprus or European. But I think it's inevitable. If you move,
after 5 years, you will start
to hire locals. So, and of course, nobody will kick you out if you don't match that 30%.
You and also asked about the tax. I think it's one of the things probably you have on your...
of course. The corporate tax rate of Cyprus is 12.5%. Of course, now with all the harmonization at global scale, it's expected to be increased at 15%, which it's still low. 12.5 is the lowest, one of the lowest in the European Union. But other than the corporate tax rate, there are other more tax benefits, personal for shareholders. When they move here, they can even get tax breaks by actually eliminating any tax exposure when they move to Cyprus, paying 0 tax on dividends. And even for the relocated employees, actually the parliament last week passed a new law, and if an employee earns more than 55,000 euros, and as you know, these software developers are earning that amount of money, they can get a 50% tax break on the income tax, which the highest is 35% over 60K. So effectively, they're going to pay 17%, which is, I mean, for European standards, it sounds like heaven.
That's not, I think that's not the only thing. You have also the IP regime.
Of course. Yeah, you have the IP regime, which can decrease effectively the corporate income tax to 2.5%. And
only on the expenses
that
are related for development, but
there is a formula, but that's why we see a lot of big gaming companies in the island. One of the biggest names in the gaming industry are here.
I think, look, people that are working especially in the fintech area, building software on subscription models. These are the type of software that can enjoy this IP regime. And it's very much built for those type of fintech companies. It takes time to get it approved, but once it's done, then yes, a good part of your income is going to be reduced taxed.
Yeah, because you license the IP rights to, and also you said fintech could be regulated. So if you come to Cyprus, you can freely passport in the European Union your product without having to get licensed to every jurisdiction.
Yeah.
And yeah, Cyprus is quite flexible and welcome to new technologies. A lot of questions. Kenny.
Yeah, 1 second, guys. Let us go over here. We have Kenny asking, are there government schemes, incentive for startup in Cyprus? What are the requirements? So I think that's the IP regime, Kenny, is one of the schemes that gives that incentive. So it's not only 0.5% as a company tax is the baseline. From that baseline, you can reduce to 2.5% for companies that hold an IP that is being sold on recurring basis. So that's one very important scheme, and definitely provide an incentive for any company or any startup that needs to be conservative on his, expenses and tax. And spend everything back on the product and people. So.
Although maybe a startup is not at that stage where it's already making profits and will be worried of the profit tax, there are other incentives.
Look, when depends. Even if when you're a startup and you make $10,000 a month and you pay 50% tax of it on it, then yes, it's important for you. Even if it's, believe me, even if it's a startup. Because in the end, it takes out of your cash flow. It takes out the money that you need to grow, and that is one of the biggest things that allows your company to utilize finance. I think much better than in other places.
Of course, I fully agree. But adding to that, there are even incentives at the prior stage. Even when you set up the company, at the beginning, there are some. Incentives introduced recently, in the last years, where you can, the initial share capital you put in the company, you can deduct it from the tax.
Really?
So and this is, I think, very...
Deduct it from the tax?
Yeah, there is a mechanism, it's called notional deduction.
Not pay tax for the whole 3 years?
Yeah, something like that. My background is, I'm not a tax expert, but I'm sure I can...
It's a big change.
Yeah, it really helps.
Don't you do it retro?
I have to come back to that.
You need to check.
Maybe you didn't ask the proper advisor.
Is asking us, does zero tax on dividends include income from offshore real estate paid as rent? Paid as rent, I'm not sure that we are the best one to answer here. It's more like a tax question.
Yeah.
I know the offshore real estate.
I know there's
they bought an apartment and they are getting rent out of it. They need to pay something. They need to pay
in Cyprus. In Cyprus,
it's concerned as an income.
Yes.
From rent.
I think you can avoid the tax, but you have to pay some defense.
The defense contribution.
Or the ESC, for the
1.5%.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't have the answer here, but on the general question of Shai, whether you can get 0% tax on out of Cyprus dividends, that's correct.
Yeah,
you can get zero tax on your global dividends because
if you have a real estate in somewhere else in Greece, you will get zero dividends basically out of the revenues you get from that, SPV, that the company that the building or apartment is registered.
Or outside real estate, you may have other ventures in Israel, but you didn't move them in Cyprus and you're still a shareholder there and you are earning some income, but because you moved in Cyprus.
Because you moved to Cyprus, you want to allocate it.
You're a tax resident here.
Okay, so we spoke a little bit about Cyprus and
Real Pine. Let's go to BridgerPay. Yeah? Tell us your story.
So Bridger started 3.5 years ago. We said, in an apartment. So yeah, I had another company before Bridger, an e-learning company that I sold. I was already in Cyprus, so it was easy for me to start the new venture here. But wasn't easy in any other aspect. So that was the only thing that was easy, to be here already. But the rest we had to basically do from scratch, with a lot of mistakes and a lot of things that we learned on the way. Bridger is a fintech company. We've basically built software that help businesses around the world to manage and operate their payments. So there are a lot of companies around the world that are all processing money in order for people to pay for their services. Different companies from many different verticals, travel and e-commerce and retail and marketplaces and governments, even city halls that we have that works with us. It really everything that is processing money online, and those companies needs to integrate and connect and manage multiple payment providers and multiple methods in one checkout that they have in their website. And that's what we do. We basically provide them a checkout which is unified, that can connect everything from one side, PayPal and JCC here in Cyprus, and Revolut, and any crypto exchange, or I don't know, a voucher, or any payment solution, buy now, pay later, that now is very much installments that people are doing. Basically every payment method available into one unified place, basically reducing all the tech resources and giving a business, the ability to, like you said, to concentrate on their product, on their offering, and keep all their payments, pains, and challenges with our software. So we've built it for almost, I think it was around 8 months. And then we launched beginning of 2019, first paying client in Bridger. And yeah, today we started obviously 2-3 people in the company. Me, Yaron, the co-founder of Bridger, who was with me in my past venture, and had so much knowledge and experience in payments. And we've basically had this problem in our old venture, and we started connecting payments, and we saw how hard it is and how the experience is. So, when you try to buy something, even when you pay electricity bill here, right, they take you to another screen. We tried to eliminate and to find a way to eliminate all those problems. And yeah, we started Bridger 3.5 years ago. Today it's around 80 people, 60 around in Cyprus already, and it's growing fast. Yeah, we got funded from an Israeli VC, and now in A round. So yeah, the company is growing fast. Today we are processing in 180 countries through our clients, over $1 billion a month in terms of processing volume, connected to around 400 different payment providers in the world. So yeah, working hard.
It's a Cyprus success story. Would you allow me to say it's a Cypriot success? Or
look, for us, there is a long way to go. We see Bridger as an operation platform for any business to operate on, and there are many businesses around the world. So we see it as a long road ahead.
But even from small Cyprus, you can describe yourself as a company that has operations everywhere, right?
Yeah. It doesn't stop us to work and produce a client or produce a product that any client around the world can consume and use. And we have clients from all around the world. And we work very strongly both with US and Australia. And in the end, this break, between the time zone allows us to catch both of them. So again, I know that to grow any region, I would need to have foot on the ground. We opened just now an office in Melbourne, and we will, by the end of the year, open an office in the US. But still, I could start and initiate these regions from Cyprus, and I could do it well. So that helped us.
What is the biggest? Okay, we discussed about the advantages of Cyprus and of living and having a business in Cyprus. You as an entrepreneur, what is the biggest difficulty you're facing here? Like that maybe the participants of this webinar would like to know.
In the end, I think it's all about people. You have all the environment, all the terms you need to build a successful company. Now it's only about the people. You need good people to come and to be very much connected to your company, like you would try to do in any other place. Because Cyprus has it's an island in the end. It's an island. And as a growing tech community, time for it to really to feel it. In Tel Aviv, for example, when your people, we have this joke, when your people go down for lunch, they get 7-8 offers from the rest of the building, and you're always in this pressure, right? I think here you're out of that pressure, which is a good thing, that your people are not going to get so many offers from one side, but from the other side you need those people and you need good talents, and that will be a struggle that will I think it will be forever, even for companies that are right now in Israel. Although now in this time basically you have from one side it's an opportunity for a few companies that and for other companies that are laying off, there are other companies that find those as an opportunity and hiring those people. So it's a transition time now.
So you would agree that it's very important that the strategy of the Cyprus government is giving benefits not only on the shareholders that are moving the business, but also to the people and the talent to make it attractive for them to come and work here.
That's a must.
And something we didn't mention before is that it's expected that even the naturalization of non-Europeans is going to be decreased to 5 years. Before, if you lived in Cyprus for 7 years, you could apply for the Cyprus passport. Now it's 5 years. If you speak Greek, it's 4 years.
Wow.
It's going to change. It's expected to change. So
I'm okay in a few words.
Yeah.
I'm okay. But I need to work on it.
Yeah, 4 years is nothing. I mean, time flies, especially after COVID.
So 7 years I can apply.
The current law, it's 7 years. Yeah.
Wow.
So if you know Kalimera, Kalinichta,
Okay.
it's fine.
Yes, I have a few more. What do you mean? I have 2 kids that was born here in Cyprus,
okay.
so it's we are almost Cyprus. Okay, Kenny is asking us, how are non-EU residents open businesses? I am here on spouse visa, wife is Cypriot, but I don't have a Cyprus passport. Do I have to register my wife as director partner? So it's a non-EU resident. It's
I mean,
a husband of
of a Cypriot. No, if I think under what
his wife is Cypriot.
Yeah, if
so he's not eligible to get a work permit or can he open a business?
Yes, if he has a residence right on the basis of his wife being here.
It's not like a they're non-European residents. But how can he be a non-European? Even if he's a non-European, can he then, from his wife, he's not getting a residence?
If he's a non-European, meaning like he's a third country national, let's say someone from Australia or Israeli, his wife is Cypriot. If the wife lives in Cyprus, he can move on the basis on the spousal rights because his wife is Cypriot.
And if he opens a company?
Yeah, it's fine because he has resident rights. On his name, of course.
He doesn't have to open it on his company, his wife.
No, if he has residence rights on the basis of his wife, he can open up a company, an account. and run a business, of course.
Be even better.
Mhm.
No, tax-wise.
On his name, of course, yeah.
Okay. Hope we helped you, Kenny. Guys, if you have any more questions, we're happy to answer.
Yeah, I think we went
Yeah,
over
we
the
went over
points
everything, huh?
without looking at the
But let's
slides.
cover it. We have okay, the tax benefits. We spoke about it, and it's good to have, you know, the numbers in front of you. I think tax is one of the reasons to move to relocate the company. It's not the only reason. You won't do it just for tax. There are other schemes for startup in many countries. I think the reason to move here or to open it here is required to work and produce a product and not have all the noise from around that I think consume a lot of us as founders. The ability to focus is one of the most important thing in the beginning of a company. And I think that's a place, if we speak about Israel, it's 40 minutes from Israel. We have also an office in Israel, so it's very easy to commute between those offices and work and enjoy both worlds. So that's a possibility as well. So just for you to know, it exists and can happen. Okay. Yeah. Questions, guys? We're happy to answer any question you might have.
What about the polls? What are the...
Let's see the polls. Guys, don't forget to answer the polls. A foreign interest company can employ high-skilled third country national earning a salary at least of, I know that answer, it's 2,500.
Yeah, correct.
Right? So, individual relocating to Cyprus and commence employment with annual remuneration exceeding 55 can benefit, which you said it.
Yeah.
What is it, 50?
Yeah, 50. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So how much will be the effective tax? So if I'm earning, I don't know, 70K a year?
70K means you pay the above 60, you pay 35. So if you get the 50%, 17.
The 50% is up to 55.
No, it's on all your income tax. So if it's 55, and let's say under the standards you have to pay 15,000 tax, yes, you're gonna pay 7.5. So you have a 50% tax.
Okay. Cyprus has more than sunny days per year. Wow. This year was different than others. Okay, so let's go with the polls. A foreign interest company can employ a highly skilled, the first question, the answer is 2,500 euros. That's basically the minimum amount gross that you need to pay your employees when you relocate them to Cyprus.
Under the new policy, so you can relocate all your employees.
You can relocate everyone.
Okay.
We said that you get 50% benefit. You said it, and you're right. How many days?
340.
Wow.
Yeah. 340 sunny days per year, which is nice. You save cost on vitamin D. You don't have to buy from the pharmacy. You have it for free.
Also, the car is always clean. For a foreign interest company, the percentage of the total number of employees can be 100%.
100%. Yeah.
100%.
All of them.
So basically, you can bring everyone. Personally, which benefit of relocating to Cyprus do you find more attractive? And you answered the attractive tax regime, the ease of doing business, and the generous policies of employment. So that's what you answered. Let's see if we have more questions. No, we don't. So, guys, if you don't have any more questions, we will wrap it up here.
Yes. Thanks for inviting me. It was a very productive talk. Of course, we touched before some of these elements, but I think we need more and more companies like you to be out there and give the story, the success story, and actually making small Cyprus proud, because you are here, you are part of the ecosystem, and it doesn't matter where you're from, it matters where you live, and it matters what families you are supporting. And we want more and more companies to come to the island and build this ecosystem, and the business community to support you through the whole journey.
Yeah, and it's good to see that the government is moving and making the steps. It took a long time to get there, but it's these steps now are some of them can be game changers for companies that couldn't relocate everyone, and now it's becoming feasible, and it's becoming something that at least pre-seed would definitely, or seed companies would definitely consider. Great. So, guys, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us today. And if you have any more questions, you are always happy to ask us on our channel and our Facebook groups. So we'll be happy to answer. We have another question. Let's see from Shai. Thank you. So thank you, Shai, and thank you everyone for participating and asking questions. It was good to see that the interest is here, and hope to see more companies coming here to Cyprus and helping us build a better ecosystem here of companies. Good to see that there is companies here in the island to support us. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.